What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse on Double Partner Quad. I am J-Man. This edition, we give you guys our Pulse Topic show. Haven't done one of these in a little bit here, and we have a lot to talk about, so we're going to get this kicked off here. First topic up, we're going to be talking about NXT kind of overall and really kind of central on this past TakeOver show, the R Evolution. We were both talking about it on the TLC preview that we did, about how much we were looking forward to this, how it could be some really good stuff, and holy shit, did it exceed expectations of even being great. It ended up being fucking amazing. This show was fucking awesome. The main event, amazing. It had a women's match that was great. Had great moments, you know, here in the middle and stuff like that with the tag match with Baylor and Tommy. Had a quality tag title match, and you had a debut, and then a shocking moment at the end. You had everything to really just set up a perfect fucking show here. You had, right off the bat, the debut of Kevin Steen in WWE as Kevin Owens. Actually got his fucking nose busted open in a match with CJ Parker, but looked good in there. Crowd ate it up, was all over it, got him over great. Tag title, fun little matchup between Lucha Dragons and the Vaudevillains. Good stuff there. You had kind of a squash to set up the new kind of star, which was, I think, God damn it, I don't know why I didn't fucking write it down. It'll come to me. You had the women's title, like Robert. Had the women's title with Charlotte and Sasha Banks, which is one of the best women's matches all year, bar none. All the NXT women's matches they've had on specials have been fucking tremendous. They had Paige and Emma to start the first ever on Arrival. You had Charlotte and Natalia in the summertime, which was another great matchup. And then this one with Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Fucking fantastic. Really let the women go out there and put on some great work. And Baron Corbin, the guy that was in the squash, I knew I was going to get it eventually, has an interesting look and kind of the guy that they're setting up to be, you know, something special into the future, Baron Corbin. But yeah, with Charlotte and Sasha Banks here, some great stuff, great effort done. Charlotte is by far, in my eyes, the future of the women's division. I don't see anything surpassing her because what she has shown me in the past year with what she could do in these kind of high-profile specials and stuff like that, she fucking delivers. She has definitely a lot of her father in her when it comes to the spotlight being on her because she fucking delivered in all of her matches that she had on these specials and stuff like that. And getting to the NXT title match with Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn, by far, I would probably say it's close. I'll have to rewatch it again, but just as far as watching a match, we went to WrestleMania. I know there's a lot of big kind of type matches that went down there and the bigness feel of it. As far as sitting down, watching, not being in the element, because I know if I was in that element, it would have felt 10 times even better because it would have been fucking nuts. But probably my match of the year this year, which is fucking awesome to say that it comes from an NXT show. This match fucking delivered beyond belief because it had a story behind it. It had guys in it that gave a shit. You could tell the passion that was in this match. They gave a shit in this matchup. They put in great effort. The work was there. The crowd was there. The story built up to it was there to finally get Sami Zayn to have the title. And you had a shocking ending, too, with Kevin Owens. Obviously, El Generico and Kevin Steen go back so many years, stuff like that. We knew the history. They showed them backstage. Kind of, Sammy was sitting there concentrating. You saw, Steen kind of looking over at him. So we knew there was going to be an interaction somewhere down the road. Obviously, it's too fucking obvious for people that know all these guys. And you could tell the crowd that all those people that, are keen on all the story between all these guys. And we got it here. Came out and celebrated. And right before we thought they were going to go off the air, Steen fucking turned on him, or Kevin Owens turned on him. And just, we could tell they're paying attention to what we want to see. This is finally one of those instances where if we see a card on paper, we're like, well, shit, maybe they're going to finally deliver what we want them to do. And they're finally going to put guys in the place of, you know what, this is what they should do with these guys because this is what they're best at. This show, and looking at what they're doing in the future, they're doing what we have always wanted them to do with guys that should be in the spot they should be in. They're finally doing it with a guy like Kevin Owens. He's going to be a fucking badass heel, not changing anything that what he's done, just kind of being molded into the, the PG era of a WWE, but still doing what he fucking does. Sami Zayn is El Generico without a fucking mask. I mean, he's doing everything the exact same. Russell's same quality. He is the same kind of person. He's like very chill and all this kind of stuff. The underdog kind of story. Adrian Neville is always, all these guys. Finn Balor with the fucking amazing fucking entrance that Quaddy just rewatched before we got on the show. It's just like, I was talking to him about it and he agreed with me. it felt like a fucking WrestleMania entrance in front of like 250, 300 people. I mean, that's what I felt like watching this. I was like, God, this feels like a fucking WrestleMania entrance. Like how epic it was, and shocking that they actually let, again, another guy from what he did in the past do what he did in the past right now. Prince Devitt, where like he dressed up as like Joker and like Hannibal Lecter and all these cool kind of characters that he would play in like the bigger high-profile matches. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it. We talked about it. Go on to YouTube, check it out. Type in Prince Devitt and different gimmicks and shit like that. He dressed up like different shit. It's cool. It's fucking badass. Came out looking like fucking Venom or shit like that, like from fucking Spider-Man. It was fucking kick-ass looking, and they just everything that we could have asked for, they superseded, and they did even more than what I could have expected. So this show is fantastic. This show is a fucking page turner, and this show is by far one of the best shows of the entire year out of any promotion that you could fucking bring up. And bar none with this NXT title match. If anybody doesn't think it's the match of the year, it's definitely going to be close up there with a lot of people. But to me, right now, and I don't know if it's going to be beat by anything coming up, because there really isn't anything coming up with it being the end of the fucking year. This is probably going to be my match of the year. So fucking awesome way to end off, and what a great way to kind of spark interest going for NXT going into 2015 with this great NXT TakeOver show.
Badassery is what it was.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure if you watch our TLC preview, I said that match was going to be the match of the year.
I think you had Quaddy, one for Quaddy.
And I'll take that to the bank.
And you also did say that ladder match from TLC was going to be the match in your or not match of the night and possibly match of it was the match of the night too. Quaddy nailed. Listen to Quaddy. He knows what he's talking about. Look at that Gretzky shirt. I mean, fuck. Can you doubt a man in an old school Blues Gretzky shirt? I say nay.
I say nay.
I say nay.
I say nay. Where do we start with the show? When this was better than parts of TLC.
Oh, by far.
Like
TLC out of water.
Like laps around it.
Yeah.
Like the fat guy running. I didn't watch this live. I made a mistake of not sitting up and watching it. I had no social media until I watched it because I knew people would we're gonna blow it up. Just going into the show, it felt like something was gonna happen. Like you had one of those things where you knew Kevin Stevens was gonna debut. You knew something was gonna bring him in. There was gonna be some kind of change. Something was gonna happen, and fuck, look what happened.
Right.
You have Charlotte, fucking Ric Flair's daughter, just fucking female version of Ric Flair, seems like, doing all of his moves. Fucking strutting, just knowing how to get people to watch her. All eyes on her, this is how she does it. Then you have the fucking entrance. I literally just watched, and I'm pretty much going to have to go favorite because it's pretty epic. And then you have the fucking main event, and you're just hands down, like J-Man said, if it's not match of the year, it's top 2, top 3.
Right. Because
you have nothing else that compares to this, because TNA was all shit. WWE was up and down, really nothing. You had its moments, but just I really wish we could have been there. Because it was like your Ring of Honor show on steroids.
Yep.
Because just the atmosphere. And fuck, when that entrance was, they started chanting, holy shit. Before the match even starts,
entrances. I think when everybody was out, they chanted, "This is awesome." They even started the match.
I'm just like, okay, just what the. I feel like WWE has finally gotten their ego knocked down enough to realize that with the independent wrestlers coming in, you don't change something that's not broken.
Right.
When you have guys like the Steens, the Genericos, the fucking Seth Rollins, the Claudio Castagnoli, and you just have these guys coming in and come in on such a high note, why would you knock them down to make them something fucking crap? And that's what I feel like what happened with Hero is. He was on such a high, they knocked him down to change his gimmick, and he started rebelling, and that's when they're just like, okay, we gotta let you go. And that's what I feel like, if they just let shit go. Just, okay, fuck. Look, Kevin Steen's a fucking badass in Ring of Honor. Why don't we just let that dude go until he kind of gets stale?
Right.
Good luck. Because he has such a mind for what gets fans' attention and what gets people going. It's just, don't fuck with things.
Right.
And this, like J-Man said, this show is pretty much just a launching pad into 2015. What the fuck? What are they going to do next? They have so much talent on that roster. When is it all going to come in WWE? And when it does, good luck, guys, because there are going to be a lot of pink slips handed to some WWE guys.
Right. Because
you have all these up-and-comers coming up, and they're knocking on the door. Hopefully Vince opens it and lets them come up and play.
It's a good point that Quaddy mentioned about how guys are coming in and they're doing what they did, before they got to WWE. They're doing what they did on the independent scene, what they did to get signed by WWE. Perfect analogy, while I was thinking while Quaddy was talking there, is like a sports team or a baseball team or a hockey team or whatever. If they have a hot minor leaguer or something like that that's sitting down in their farm system, they're not going to bring them up and then say like, oh, I mean, you're a hot, fucking, minor league and shit like this. You're coming up. You're great, like, fucking, we're going to make you fucking left-handed instead of throwing right-handed. And we're also going to make you turn your fucking helmet around while you're batting so you can't see any. It's like, why would you bring them up and change what they've been doing? Use what you got. And that's why you signed him. If they were doing anything, if they were doing, like, if Cesaro was doing what he is doing now, which is a bunch of bullshit, just jobbing out to everybody, was doing that in Ring of Honor, they'd be like, fuck, we ain't signing that piece of shit. Then why the fuck are you changing what he does? Make him a badass fucking athletic fucking monster. Like, you're not gonna fucking change this guy shit up. Like, you're not gonna bring Dean Ambrose in and have him be like, well, we can't have him be this kind of lunatic, kind of crazy guy or whatever. We're gonna have him be a fucking dipshit. Like, it's not... You don't change that shit. You sign them for a reason because of what they deliver as in-ring performers, as characters, on the mic, whatever the case may be. It's a perfect, reference to what Quad was saying. Is like, stick with what they are. We said that time and time again, and this is what they're doing in NXT.
And
they're
this shows
sticking what they are, and it shows. Obviously, this show is fucking tremendous because you had guys that we knew were capable. Like Quad said, it was like ROH on crack. It felt like an old school Ring of Honor show. That's what it felt like. For the people that have watched Ring of Honor for a long time, it felt like one of those old school Ring of Honor shows. And that's what I felt like the whole time. I kept saying it over and over again while I was watching. It's like, God, this feels like a fucking Ring of Honor show in the glory days. Like, this is some fucking hot shit. This is what needs to be going on. And with all of these guys, with all these hot commodities on the indie scene all coming to one thing, it's like WWE makes their own independent little program, all-star fucking program that they have down in Florida. Like, hey, you guys go down there and just whoop the shit out of WWE's programming for the entire fucking time that you guys are down there, and then we'll hopefully finally bring you up and do what we should do with you guys. So, great stuff going on in NXT, blowing WWE out of the fucking water, and probably will be for the time being. But yeah, great stuff with this TakeOver show, and can't wait to see what the future holds and what's going to be going on into 2015. Next topic up, we're going to be talking about Ring of Honor a little bit here, kind of going back and forth. I'm going to run over kind of the thoughts on Final Battle. Quaddy wasn't able to be over for it, so I'm just kind of run down some shit. They had the world title match with Jay Briscoe and Adam Cole. It was a fight without honor. They also had this show, which I thought was really weird. They had it on live pay-per-view, but they didn't hold it at the Manhattan Center, didn't hold it at the Hammerstein Ballroom, didn't hold it at like the major Ring of Honor places that we normally see it. They had this, like, it was very weird. It felt like a fucking Fight Club kind of place. It was like everybody was like overhang. I mean, it looked kind of cool. It just didn't feel Ring of Honor. I don't know. It felt very like it felt like there was going to be some like underground like fucking modeling going on or something. And they're going to bust out a stage and like Zoolander was going to come out or some shit. It was fucking weird. Like it was fucking random. I don't know, but like I thought they should have stuck with just like the Hammerstein Ballroom or the Manhattan Center or something like that. A very Ring of Honor core place. But I don't know. It was kind of weird. But the lighting was a little fucking whatever. Had the main event, it delivered. I thought it was really quality stuff with Jay Briscoe and Adam Cole. Had them a fucking brawl, fucking using staple guns and stapling shit to Jay Briscoe's head. Had chair shots to the head, and all these pussies out there like, oh, open chair shots to the head in 2014. How dare you? Fuck off. Like, stop being pussies. It's a fucking contact sport. People get hit. People get hurt. It's what you fucking do. Fucking stop being little bitches about it. Yeah, fucking occasionally you could do that shit. Every single night, every single match, yeah, we don't need to see that shit. But yeah, if you're going to have a fight with fucking Out Honor and you're going to build to that, yeah, I want to see a fucking chair shot to the head. I want to see some fucking blood, and that's what we fucking got here. So thank you for the people that are still out there that aren't fucking pussies like a Jay Briscoe or an Adam Cole who could go out there and fucking deliver this type of match, because this is what this feud needed to end with. So I thought that they delivered that. Briscoe retaining, there was a lot of talk with Adam Cole winning, but keep it on Briscoe. I don't know. I'm just starting. We've always been, fucking Briscoe fans and shit like that. But as far as the singles run, it's kind of needed to get some run in here. But he looks like a badass with that fucking title. And we were talking about when we were watching it too. It's just like, he just fucking looks relevant as a fucking world champion. He's just a fucking badass, and that's what Jay Briscoe is. Tag titles was another great one with Red Dragon and the Time Splitters. Quality stuff, what you're gonna get with those kind of guys whenever you throw them in the ring. Just quality tag team wrestling. Red Dragon, I would probably say bar none the best tag team in the world. You have the Young Bucks that are very flashy and very fucking like watching the X Games and shit. They're amazing, but I would definitely go overall, probably Red Dragon. They're just fucking tremendous, retaining the titles in that one. Had a 6-man kind of spot fest type thing with the Bucks and HGH against the Addiction and Cedric Alexander. A lot of spotty type stuff, a lot of stuff that you kind of see with the Young Bucks nowadays. It's like all you fucking get with them. Like I said, I love it, but I think whenever you get them in there with people that want to work a match instead of just going in there and doing the 800 fucking million super kicks and all these fancy shit and doing flip. I mean, literally, we were sitting there. I was like, I feel like I'm watching like the X Games equivalent to pro wrestling. Like, this is what it feels like. It's fucking amazing, and it's great how athletic and fucking talented these guys are. But it's like kind of rein in it a little bit. I mean, you could kind of, and it makes it. It's gonna get very watered down if the Young Bucks are just out there doing the same fucking thing for like the next 2 years. It's gonna be like we've seen it all before. I mean, it's amazing shit we've seen, but rein it in a little bit. I think that's all they really need to do. I had the TV title, Jay Lethal, Matt Sydal. Nothing really too much there, and then he had kind of match with Ciampa and Elgin, getting fucking Elgin back in. I don't know why the fuck they're even interested anymore, but Ciampa's, I think, a guy that really into the future could be something. I just think he's got an intriguing character and, is definitely a quality worker. But fun show. I wouldn't really say it was disappointing. I would say it was a good show. I think that definitely the top 2 matches of the world title and tag titles definitely delivered. I thought those were really quality stuff. And yeah, going in and kind of ending off 2014, and I think that hopefully they could get it kickstarted as far as pay-per-views go. I know they announced another one. I think the beginning of March they're doing one in Las Vegas, so I think it's their 13th anniversary show. Which is crazy. I think what do we go to 9?
Yeah.
Wow. So
yeah, 4 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, so they already announced that one, so looking forward to see what they're going to be doing going on in the future. And another thing that we're definitely looking forward to going on in the future is the signing of Ring of Honor of Alberto Del Rio, now being called Digital Patron or whatever I don't know how the hell he's going to say it. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Patron. You guys figure out what the way they're going to say it. Patron. Patron. I don't fucking know. But Del Rio signing here, I think it's a good. I really don't know what it's going to be. They've announced matches here. They have announced matches with Christopher Daniels, ACH, and Roderick Strong. All very quality shit that I all want to see. Every single one of those matches should be some really great stuff there. But a guy who I think can kind of mold into a Ring of Honor style. He's a stiff type guy, provides great fucking wrestling ability, and provides kind of a bigness of a character that's not too outlandish, but a guy that can kind of come in there and be like, hey, this is a credible fucking guy that can work and work great and has a fucking gimmick and a character and a great one behind it. Hope they could get Ricardo. That'd be kind of cool if they could get him to come in with them as well. But definitely looking forward to the work that he could put on. I think he's going to kind of amp it up a little bit as much as he wasn't able to do in WWE. I think he's going to do it in Ring of Honor. So I think that's going to be some great stuff. And obviously when you get an acquisition like that for a Ring of Honor who's just continuing to grow, I mean, that's what their entire existence has been, growth and progression, and always constantly trying to get on track of what the future is going to hold and stuff like that. They've kind of got stuck in some mud over the past couple of years and stuff like that, but something like this I think is a sign of some really great things, and hopefully can maybe bring in some other talents that are like, hey, Del Rio goes there, holy shit, let's see what somebody else can bring in here. So looking forward to all those matches. Great signing by Ring of Honor, and definitely look what the future holds as far as top of the portion. The Cargos, the Briscoes, the Adam Coles, and stuff like that. See what a Ciampa kind of move up. You got a Sydal coming in there. You still got the Bucks in there, Red Dragon, all those kind of guys. Roderick Strong.
You're missing somebody big.
Well, AJ, of course, yeah, AJ. Which he hasn't really been focused on as much in Ring of Honor. Hopefully we get him back in there because I'd love to see an AJ Del Rio match. That would be some fucking great stuff too. But yeah, so much talent there that they could, if they just kind of get it all together and get everything behind, all this talent, it should be some good stuff. So looking forward to see what the future holds in 2015 for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I think what J-Man told me about the show was seemed like Ring of Honor was just kind of just trying to finish out the year before. They're just trying to
cruise control.
Just cruise through like WWE was doing, and just not got some match. Yeah, here and there matches that were good, a lot of mediocre stuff. But with the Del Rio signing, I think it's just another big name that Ring of Honor's done, and it's going to help them in the long run because it will be able to have I hate to say this, but like the Mexican fan base back, and you could bring in you could do something with him in Homicide or him and just do something with that, or just let him have a singles run and see how he does with some of this younger talent, and just so he can help mold them, and just like more of a veteran guy coming in. And like J-Man said, that's what Ring of Honor does. It just brings in new people and just sees what they do. So.
Yeah, it should be some really interesting stuff going on in the future with Ring of Honor. Last one up. I know you guys saw it. We're finally getting to the biggest.
Was it here or is it down here now?
Towards the end of, I think it's up there still.
Okay.
Upstairs. What ended up being the biggest story topic in all of professional wrestling in the year of 2014, which is CM Punk and the happenings lately. Very, very, very big happenings lately in the life of one CM Punk. First off, we had the podcast, which was, I think, right around Thanksgiving. He went on there and he said that he wanted to do it earlier. There was kind of scheduling issues with Cabana being away, him being off of the honeymoon and stuff like that after his wedding, and finally gave it out to you. He's like, "Oh, we're doing Thanksgiving. I'm giving back to the fans and all my things and stuff like that." Right. Bottom line, this podcast was tremendous. It was great stuff. The views on it shut down fucking Cabana's website. He wasn't expecting it to be that much. I don't know how the hell he wouldn't expect it to be that fucking much. Everybody was anticipating, which would have ended up being one of the biggest, shoot type interviews, which is what it turned into basically, which he said it didn't want to, of all time really, because there was just so much. Because he is obviously such an opinionated person and wants to get his side of the story out, and what ended up happening with him in the past couple months and the entire year, of 2014 and what happened. And before that, to leading up to his departure from WWE. Just so many fucking thoughts. A lot of it, when he first came on, the first thing that he said, one of the first things that he said, he's like, obviously, like I was speaking of, it could be the biggest shoot interview. He said there's going to be a lot of people that could have paid me a lot of money for it, but I wanted to come on here with, my best friend, wanted to do this and give him the publicity and all that kind of stuff. But as you'll find in my story, it's not all about the money, is something that he said right off the bat. He went on to talk about the numerous injuries, all of the things that happened to him throughout the time, the countless times where they threw him out there and used him and abused him, throughout his title run, throughout the time where he went through injured and he wanted time off and this and that. The money that he spoke of, even though he spoke that it wasn't all about the money, it seemed like 75% of the time that he was on there talking, it was about him getting his due. Don't blame him at all. We know what CM Punk's worth. We know what he's capable of, and we know what he deserves. If he would be getting what he deserves, who knows where he would be right now. And the years leading up to that. God, I don't even know where to start. There's just so much fucking shit.
It seemed like it needed to be done. I know it's one of those interviews. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'll formulate.
You're getting your stuff situated.
Right.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and when J-Man and I started talking about what we're going to talk about CM Punk, I had to go back. I had to go back to the good stuff. I had to go back to the Ring of Honor days. And look what CM Punk did back then, and whenever he had the year of Punk, or Summer of Punk. And then when he came in WWE, and I watched this DVD again, I literally think it's going to break the amount of time I'm going to watch it.
It's probably the best one they've ever released.
Whenever I started watching it, I just realized that we both love CM Punk, mind you what I'm about to say. His ego may have gotten the best of him.
Yep.
And when he was sitting, and you could just tell Cabana, I've read some of Cabana's tweets, he's just like, I didn't want to get there, but I just had to let him go. And it was all the built-up shit. It would be like me. It would be like J-Man come to interview me. We're best friends. We're going to be best friends through thick and thin.
Right.
We've done shit. We've been... No matter what, we're always going to be best friends. And that's what Punk wanted to do. Like Punk said, he could have gotten paid 6 figures to do this interview with some nobody he doesn't know and have him ask some stupid question. Or he could just let his best friend ask him this question and just... Cabana, you sit there, I'm just going to go. And that's exactly what it seemed like Punk did. And Punk needed just to vent and let everything go. And it's sad that he had to bash WWE, but I think it needed to really be done. Because WWE's egos also got the best of them too. With a bunch of these guys and how they're worried about the bully and concussions and all this stuff. And it kind of gets pushed underneath the rug when it comes to backstage stuff. But when you're on front of the cameras and stuff, we have to make sure he's okay. We can't have somebody get injured with concussion. So we don't have another Benoit incident. Right. And I don't want that to happen with anybody, but I really felt like the only person that could have spoke up and actually made a difference was CM Punk. And like Jamin said, just because he has to have his side of the story out there, and I'm glad he did. because it makes me kind of step back and look at WWE and goes, wow, like, they do this, this, and this. But it's also one-sided story.
Right.
And I'm kind of intrigued to see if Vince is going to say anything about this either.
Probably not. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start with covering one side and then go to the other side. Because there's definitely sides of each we could kind of see. Punk's side, if people go out there and say, like, oh, how they would never treat their people like this, I full-heartedly believe everything that he said that happened to him, injury-wise, how they deliver things, I believe is 100% accurate. He has no reason to go out there and bullshit that. He has no reason to go out there and lie and say and shit on him and all this and that. He doesn't need to do that. He has no reason to. I mean, yeah, the shit that happened with his wedding and this and that and blah, blah, blah. He knows that is not going to make an impact on WWE. It's not there. It's right off the whatever. Like that, they are so up on their own little mountaintop. Somebody like that's not even with them anymore. It's just fucking dirt off their shoulder. He knows that it does not matter to them. The shit that happened with him pisses me the fuck off because I would like to see where he would have been if he would have been treated the way he deserved to be treated. Because did he deserve to get paid like the Undertakers and the Rocks and the Triple H's and the John Cena's at all those WrestleManias? Absolutely. Because what was he doing? He was delivering the best match every single time he was out there. He deserved to be in the main event, which has always been his thing. He's always wanted to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Did he deserve that? Beyond fucking belief, he did.
He never wrestled main event of WrestleMania.
He never main event of WrestleMania. That always has been his main thing. Has he been in title matches? Has he wrestled The Undertaker? Yes. And that was one of the biggest things. That was kind of a big tipping point because the constant times of, hey, I'll owe you one. Hey, I'll owe you one. And he kept going in there and he kept busting his ass. And he kept thinking, if I finally fucking do this, maybe eventually I'll get what I want and just give me the fucking main event of WrestleMania. Because he would have been done. He probably would have been like, fuck it, I don't need anything else. I'm not going to hurt my body anymore. I'm not going to do this and that anymore. You gave me what I wanted. That's all I wanted. There you go. They talked about the WrestleMania 29 match with The Undertaker. He was pissed off. He wanted that to be the main. He said that, he'd have went out there and did a triple threat with Rock and Cena and got eliminated in the first 5 minutes, and he'd have been like, fuck it, I got what I wanted, I was in the main event, I don't give a shit, win, lose, or draw. But he went out there, had a kick-ass match with The Undertaker, they all came back, praised him, said, man, that was the best match of the night, you should have been on main, and he just is like, shrugs it off and laughs. He's like, what more can I fucking do? He goes out there and puts on the best match in the last fucking 10 years in WWE with him and John Cena at Money in the Bank in 2011, which I saw live, which blew my fucking mind. I will never lose that fucking thought, ever, because of how amazing it was. It's just... It goes without saying, and I've said it time and fucking time again, when you have professional wrestlers that are in this business because they love it, because, like us, they've watched it since they were little kids, because this is all they've ever wanted to do, that's the best outcome you're ever going to get, because those people have passion. Those people care, and they give a shit about the overall product, not their little fucking existence on the fucking pro wrestling map. They care about everything, and... He's a guy that comes off very selfish, obviously. He knows how good he is. He's not going to bullshit you. He's a self-professed asshole, and he doesn't care. Because he knows what he can deliver. He knows what he thought could have changed the landscape. But on the flip side, there has not been one person to affect it all. To literally go in and rule the fucking world. I mean... The wheels are going to keep spinning, and whether how big you are, whatever the case may be, everybody's a spoke on the wheel, and it's just spinning the fucking empire, and that's all it keeps fucking doing. And whether people pop up and they're like, a lot of this shit is bullshit, and I'm way better than fucking all of this, it's not going to change anything, because whether anybody in there realizes it or not, and he mentioned it, which I totally understand, because I feel like it's that same way. He said it's the most bipolar industry to be in, because... They put you in the situation where you think you're going to do this thing, and then they're looking for something completely else when they're telling you they're looking for what you're trying to deliver. So it's like, you don't know what to think, and that's what he was constantly saying. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I need to do. I'm out there, I have the best match, with all the merchandise sales, he's the only person to fucking outsell John Cena and fucking merchandise. So I see where he's coming from. I get it. And all the bullshit with the injuries, with the stuff that they didn't help him out with, the concussions and this and that. Like Quaddy said, we don't want a fucking another Benoit. We want these people to get taken care of. And he mentioned how he wanted to help out for all the guys, all the wrestlers, and get like a union started. Like how NFL has and stuff like that. I think that's a brilliant idea. I think that's great with, people focus on, the injuries and stuff like that lead to the murders and the suicides and all the terrible things in the NFL and NHL and all that kind of shit. Same shit's happened in WWE. They're professional athletes. They go out there and fucking kill themselves. They fucking brutalize their bodies more than any fucking athletes out there because they're out there day in and day out fucking an entire year. No fucking off season. They're out there for 20 fucking years killing themselves. And I think it's a great idea to get something in there for the guys that doesn't have anything to do with backstage politics and bullshit. All about health and all about getting people into a mode to where they feel comfortable with, like, hey, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to put my fucking life on the line and my body on the line for entertainment purposes. I want to have a fucking backup to where I get what I deserve when I'm injured. I get the time off, whether you need me for storylines or title, whatever the fuck. And he was saying how, they took him out like, well, we need you for this. He's like, I just had surgery. I don't want to come back. Like, there needs to be something that cuts off the day in and day out procedures that happens in professional wrestling. It has to cut off. When people need the time, they need the fucking time. And this is a perfect case of it. He's burnt out. He's hurt. If he would have gotten the time that he wanted, who knows where he would be right now. He probably wouldn't be an acquisition for the UFC, I would have a feeling. It's just one of those cases. You take care of the guys. You give them what they deserve. They're going to want to work for you. They're going to want to play ball with you. But if you don't do that, and if you don't do that to your best fucking people that deliver way more than you could ever ask for, then yeah, they're going to get pissed off and they're going to fucking be angry about it because that's human nature. Why do you want to get treated like a piece of shit for entertainment? It's like you're a circus act. Like, you're not treated as a fucking human being. And that's the fucking first person that is going to be out there to be a spokesperson about that is a CM Punk, because he speaks his mind. He's always spoke his mind, and he always will. So I think it's great that he got that out there. He got the, we need to pay fucking attention to this shit, so future cases of the fucking Benoits and those kind of fucking instances don't fucking happen again, because that's terrible. And not only is that terrible for the fucking individuals that happen in that circumstance, it's terrible for the entire industry with how it affects everybody, how it affects how people look at it. Because people looked at pro wrestling a different way the day before all that shit with Benoit happened. Ever since that was the turn. That was the turn of the page, and people looked at pro wrestling a totally different way. They changed their philosophy of how they worked with the talent. They did everything, but they still didn't go to the lengths of protecting the talent as far as injuries go because of stories like this. When a CM Punk comes out there, and we can't speak for everybody, we don't hear the side for all of the other wrestlers and stuff like that. But if they treat one of their top talents, and without a doubt, whether they didn't pay him or not, he was one of their top talents, and he fucking was running that shit for a couple years there. You treated him that way. I can only imagine how you treat other people and how you just fucking throw them out there like fucking slave drivers. I mean, it's terrible to think what they could possibly do to people, all for the purpose of the empire and turning the fucking wheel. So that side of it pisses me off, and I'm great. It's great that he didn't give a shit. He didn't want to keep going and keep beating the shit out of himself, and all for this and that, and for his body to take a beating like that. I'm glad that he took out and got himself out of that situation. Here's the flip side of the story. Now he's going in to actually be in fights because he signed a multi-year deal with the UFC. Going to be starting in the summer of 2015, I believe. Again, so much shit and such a little time to digest. I still think we need more time to really figure out all this shit and how it really makes any goddamn sense. Because he comes out, says how beat up he was, says how fucking broken down he was, says this and that. Hey guys, I'm going to go in there with people that actually want to take my fucking head off now at 36 years of age with absolutely no fucking MMA experience or fighting background. I don't really see how that makes a whole lot of fucking sense, but I can't really predict what's going to be happening. Will we be tuning into the first fight? I know I will be, because I'm just so goddamn intrigued. I think it's a great move on UFC's side. I think it's fucking brilliant. Obviously, the hottest fucking commodity in whatever fucking sports entertainment, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But as far as he goes, he says he would have did it a lot, if he was younger and shit like that. I definitely see where he's come from. There's a lot of guys, the Undertaker said if it was around and as popular and all the money was as great as it was and this and that, whenever he would have been in there. So I see that. As far as going there now at 36, a fucking admitted, broken down and kind of beat up. He said he's in great shape now, but I don't see that side of it. That side of it seemed very hypocritical. It seemed very, what the fuck are you doing to go in there with actual people that want to fucking rip your head off because they're in there trying to do the same thing you're fucking doing. But some parts of me doesn't really know if he's really full-fledged knows what he's getting into, because I don't know. That side of thing is still very, we'll see where it goes, but I'll let you cover it.
Yeah, this is like a CM Punk part 1.
Yeah, I'm sure
for our topic show, because I have a feeling we're going to, once we get close to the UFC time, there's going to be more of a, like Jimmy said, it's just a lot thrown at you at once, and you can only catch so much of it. You're going to have to sit back, and I'm going to have to go listen to the podcast again probably, just because there's so much he talked about. And like Jimmy said with the union thing, he made a very good point about how there should be a wrestling union. I know it sounds kind of weird to say that from a person that has no... I'm in a union myself, but it's like, I understand where they need somebody that will protect them. If, let's say, we have another... Hopefully we never had another one, Owen Hart.
Right.
Or another Benoit, or another Eddie Guerrero, where your family is not completely screwed if you make a bad slip on the top rope and you break your neck and you're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life and you have medical bills coming out your butt. Even though it's on WWE terms, there's some ways they can step around that. Or the whole steroid thing that happened before with Vince and how he said they weren't giving them steroids and all that nonsense. It just seems like there's a lot of politics in the backstage that WWE kind of wants to hush or shh, be quiet about it. And we talked about, it seemed like Punk or other people need to finally step it up, and say something. But I also think this is nail in the coffin for CM Punk. I don't think he'll ever be seen in WWE again. And I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with AJ coming off of this.
True.
Thinking about that, is she going to... Because she's kind of been pushed underneath the rug, too, since all this kind of happened. But him in UFC, that's going to be quite interesting. He talked about previously about how people were working hard on him, like hard workers and guys that didn't let up. Well, this is going to be a good reality check here. Because I have a feeling his first fight's not going to last very long. I hate to say this, but I have a feeling maybe a good little quickie in this. Here you go. Welcome to UFC, bud.
Right. That's what I think is the perfect word for it, a reality check. It's kind of something to where he's always been somebody that is bitten off more than he could chew, but always is able to chew that piece and swallow it. He's never a guy he's got in there. He's been doubted. He's been fucking anything you could possibly imagine, and he's always going to go after whatever people think he can't fucking do. He's going to go after it. Don't really know about this one. This one he actually might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew. Still too early to tell. Obviously, they're not going to throw them in there with some fucking killer and fucking go in there and have no fucking chance.
Yeah, like Brock Lesnar, Robert, I don't think that'll happen.
No, not going to happen. Weight classes, a little bit different. Can't set up fantasy matches in the UFC because that's called somebody is going to get murdered.
Somebody may die.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to be thrown there with a very inexperienced amateur type guy, but he is by far inexperienced and an amateur type guy. He has no background of it. And to tell me that he's going to train in 6 months to be able to go in there and defeat somebody,
I know CM Punk worked hard.
He's going to work his ass off. He looked in great shape in all the interviews and stuff like that I've seen him in. He's going to be prepared as much as he could possibly be prepared for. Do not doubt that. But it's a different fucking world. It's totally different. I really hate when people start comparing UFC and WWE because to me it's two different worlds. They both have their places and they both need to be kept separate. I don't want people comparing, WWE to UFC and all this stuff and talk about what Punk wanted to bring into WWE and saying he was all pissed off because, he wanted to do the gym shorts with the sponsors and shit to help out himself. He was saying how he wanted to help out himself and some of the boys. To me, that's a lot of bullshit. He wanted all the sponsorship money just like Brock's getting because he's wearing all that shit because he's still getting sponsorship money. So, yeah, Punk's a smart guy. Punk's a financially smart guy. He wants all that fucking money, but don't come in here and tell me that it's not all about the money. Because when you're sitting there, 75% of the fucking interview, you're talking about how, I could have had this much, and I could have had this much, could have had this much. As far as the WrestleMania pay goes, and as far as that shit goes, absolutely, because that's something you're performing, that's something you're out there, and you deserve it. All those little sponsors and little extra, come the fuck on. Like, really? That doesn't enhance the product, that doesn't help anything, that helps your pocketbook. That's all that fucking helps. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the whole getting fired on his fucking wedding day. I didn't get in the fucking. Me and Ryan were talking about that. Why would WWE care enough to send that out specifically so it comes on his fucking wedding day? Like, to me, I mean, he was super pissed about it. I mean, I would almost just laugh. I'd almost be like, that's really? Like, he's sitting on my wedding day, like, yeah, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But he fucking cared, and then I'm sure he ripped them a new asshole getting all the royalty checks and all this shit back and all that stuff, which you talked about, which obviously you got Heyman help with that, which is what it sounded like from the interview. But I don't know. I just didn't think that would have affected him that much. I mean, I don't fucking know CM Punk, but I know that he would probably just laugh his ass off and be like, wow, I mean, could anybody else get fired on their fucking wedding day than CM Punk? I mean, I don't. To me, I would just fucking laugh it off. But because I mean, at that point, you know what the future's holding for you. You're doing whatever the fuck you want. Then you can do whatever you want because you were smart with your money and you know this and that. So as far as that shit goes, like what the fuck ever. And him getting all pissed off at the movies and switching shit here and there. Like I said, one man isn't going to change the fucking world, and the WWE is its own fucking world. Going in there and shitting on fucking Tripp and saying this and that and stuff. I just like, you're not gonna, you can't change the system. The wheel's gonna keep fucking turning. You're not gonna break it, reverse it, and do a fucking triple backflip off of a fucking. You're not gonna do it. It's gonna keep fucking turning, and it's gonna do what it's gotta do. It's a corporate fucking company, fucking traded company. It's gonna keep doing what it's gonna fucking do. Whether we like it or not, it has to pander to fucking certain audiences. Do we get pissed off at it? Absolutely, because we want to see guys that are well deserved of it in its own system. That's fine. Keep the system you want, whatever the fuck. Do we think it should be not PG anymore and they should add blood and all this and that? And fucking yeah, we do, because that's what we grew up fucking watching and what we love and stuff like that. Were you gonna say something real quick?
Yeah, like Jamin said with the spokes. If one of the spokes falls off, you know how many people are lined up to get in WWE. You know how many
repair parts they got in the fucking warehouse?
You know how many repair parts they can bring in? Like a Brock Lesnar? Like, look what happened with the whole Daniel Bryan and Punk thing when they both left. Oh, that spoke fell off. Hold on, Brock, here you go. Spoke in. Here we go.
I think that's totally true. Also, another part that he talked about how guys are almost push themselves to the extent of making themselves known to be noticed because there's no other show in town.
Yeah.
There's one of those things where, like, you have to go out there and fucking work so many things, and they do it because they know there's no other option. You know, they've dreamed of being, as kids, being in the WWE, and that's all they've ever seen, and all the stars and this and that. That's what they wanted to be. They get there, and it's totally something different, but they're going to stay there and clinch on to every fucking, you know, second they can have it, because there's nothing else left. There's nowhere else to turn. I mean, this is what your dream was, and now they're going to, in some cases, use you and abuse you, and you're not going to get what you deserve, but you're going to be out there and you're doing whatever the fuck you want. You look at a guy like a Damian Sandow. I mention it time and time again. That's a guy that, that's a guy that, you know, is a great worker, is what we deserve, you know, we think it deserves so much more and stuff like that, but he's a guy that realizes, you know, would you see CM Punk doing what he's fucking doing right now? Would you see a guy that, you know, isn't getting used, you're just going to get shit on because, you know, it's whatever fucking creative thought up now, so we're going to have you do this because we can't have you be, you know, it's like, those kind of guys, a Kofi Kingston, or the guys like a Dolph Ziggler who fucking work their ass off to get to the exact same spot they've been for the last, like, 5 to 6, 7 fucking years. So, I mean, there's guys in there that cling on, and, you know, those, it's really sad because there's no other show in town, and that's how they use the guys. But, whole lot more to fucking talk about. We'll cut it off here. I'm sure we'll have some more discussions once you have more announcements of, you know, Punk going into UFC and this and that. We're not going to sit here and cover every UFC fucking fight. We're not going to sit here and blah, blah, blah. We're a pro wrestling show, and we're always going to be a pro wrestling show because that's what that says, and that's what we're all about. So we're not sitting here covering UFC. It's not the fucking Ultimate Fighting Pulse. It's the Pro Wrestling Pulse, and that's how it's always going to stay.
Is that the Ultimate Pulse?
The Ultimate Pulse. The Ultimate Pulse. So yeah, we'll be definitely.
If you want to see some UFC stuff, check out Robert's Sports Show.
I'm sure he'll cover UFC. Waiting for that fucking superstar fantasy matchup of Brock Lesnar and CM Punk in the Octagon. Can't wait for that.
Yeah. He covered NASCAR and that.
But I'm sure we'll definitely discuss it more in the future as far as when he finally gets announced matches and shit like that, or announced fights and stuff like that. We'll call it matches, fights and stuff like that in the future.
Events.
It just feels weird. I mean, it's nothing I ever thought would actually go down, to be totally honest with you. I thought something would get figured out. He'd take some time off. He'd eventually come back. That's just what I felt. I mean, yeah, I'm fucking sad. It sucks. I mean, it's a guy that is plucked right out of his prime that could have went down as the best ever. I mean, if not one of the best ever. If you'd have kept on the path that he was going and his, you know, yeah, he was getting up there, but he always kept himself in great shape, and he was always on top of shit. He's so keen and just so mind for the business that, like, we knew what he was always up to, little things here and there, and I'll always cherish those. Great memories, great moments, the amazing matches.
Not like he's dead.
I mean, in wrestling, it seems like he is, man. I mean, it really seems like he is.
Let's go back to Ring of Honor.
Right, yeah, right. Just start fresh. Reborn, just like Matt Sydal. But yeah, there's so many things to look back on that will last a lifetime with what CM Punk has provided us as a professional wrestler, because in my eyes, that's what he'll always be, and I think in his heart, he knows that's what he'll always be as a professional wrestler. Yeah, so I mean, definitely be missed. Definitely, you know, missing out on tons of great years that we could have with tons of like these great talents that we were talking about on these NXT shows that we could see fresh stuff with, and as far as an established, you know, a veteran type CM Punk guy, which is what he would have been, which is crazy to say, because he just seems like a kid every time he's out there, because, you know, he's doing what he's always wanted to do ever since he was a kid, which is be a professional wrestler. So tons of great moments, great memories, great matches, and everything that I will always remember and always look back on, and will provide a lifetime of, you know, great things to look back upon. So I guess that'll probably wrap it up. Anything else you want to mention about it?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Hope you guys have a great holidays. This will be probably the last video before the beginning of the year for the Pulse Boys. Look for we'll probably be doing an award show like we did the previous couple years, so we'll probably get those out there. Might have a hard time with some of the fucking things because there's just been so much just shit with a lot of the cases. But
not good shit, bad shit.
Bad shit. Yeah, not good shit. So probably looking for that. I don't really know when. I'm sure we'll obviously get it out before the Rumble comes out. We'll have all that coming up. We're going to be checking out the Wrestle Kingdom 9 show, which they're going to be airing in the United States for GFW, Jeff Jarrett's promotion. They got JR and Matt Stryker as the commentators for that, which should be a lot of fun. Card looks fucking stacked if you guys are keen on anything. I think it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks from like Saturday or Sunday or something like that. So we're going to be checking that out. Card looks fucking stacked. Looks like some really great stuff. Probably, yeah, I mean, we're just covering a topic show. I don't think we'll do videos for it. But yeah, definitely look forward to that. And yeah, guess this is going to do it.
Hopefully Santa Claus comes see you.
Get some more presents for your little good old boys and girls. Good old boys and girls, get you Christmas presents. Get your goodies and your shit. Yeah, so this will do it for the Pulse Boys in 2014. As we said, when we get to next year, it'll be 4 fucking years of doing videos. Started right here.
Day one.
Different Different area of the basement.
And a lot fatter.
Get ready.
A lot fatter.
Yep. There was cowboy hats involved. There was Jeff Hardy rages. There was tons of great moments.
Robert farting.
A lot of Robert farting. A fatter J-Man.
Oh, woos.
Yep, there was some woos in there. Yep. 4 fucking years. Wow. That's nuts. It's fucking nuts. And like we said in the last video, we passed 500 subscribers and stuff like that. Amazing. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support you guys give us.
We have 500 subscribers on this channel?
On this channel. We left like 750 on the other channel too. Crazy. Fucking crazy. I think we had like 250 before we put up a fucking video. Yeah. So really, we haven't gained that many since we've actually been doing videos.
Probably haven't lost me.
All the people that have checked us out for the last 4 fucking years, which still just absolutely blows my mind. So awesome.
I wonder if you've been here since day one, say something in the comment box. I'm kind of intrigued too. Like
just day one comments.
Day one comments.
Day one, 3 exclamation marks.
4, you're fucking unsubscribed. 2, you're not welcomed.
It has to be 3. Yeah. I do it like this.
0?
0, not 0. 3. Like we did in our fucking last video on our IWR show. Whenever we did that little heel turn thing or whatever, and then we switched it over.
The one
we were like,
invited to.
Everybody say, this is the best fucking thing I've ever fucking seen in the comments. There was like 28 comments of this is the best fucking thing I've ever fucking... I was like, God, that was cool. It's like never been able to fucking have that ever happen in your life where you're just like, do that because we think it's cool and this is what we stand for, and people are like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Well,
we're like, fuck yeah, that's tight.
Well, I could do that with a girl, but not necessarily with a video gay.
What are you doing? You're raping a chick?
Whoa, hey. Whoa.
You're having her do what you want her to do?
What I want her to do. Do this.
Where is this going?
I don't know.
Got Wayne Gretzky the Rapist over here? Wayne the Rapist Gretzky.
Wayne the Rapist.
Captain of the Rapers. When the Rapers come marching in.
Where it go? Okay, we better stop.
Nobody else is probably watching this shit anymore. Alrighty.
Can we make a Bill Cosby joke?
Go for it. You got one?
No, I'm just asking.
Alrighty, guys. This will now wrap up our Pulse Topic show. For my partner, Quaddy, I am J-Man. You guys have a great holidays, and we will see you in 2015.
I'm gonna laugh when we have a video before that.
Yeah, probably won't. Hopefully we'll get this up before fucking 2015 comes. But yeah, you guys have a great Christmas, have a happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2015. Listen, I'll wrap up.
We're gonna do this.
I don't know. Our Pulse Topic show. And thank you guys for watching another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse, the Pulse, professional wrestling world.